Hello, you all. Welcome to this new edition of Lectio Musicale, the place for great lyrics, great music, and great meaning. My name is Guylain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada. Love rock music for a long time, especially hard rock, metal, and prog. Once a week, I come back in my little office in the evening and I listen to a new song for me. And this week is no exception because I'm listening to a song of The Warning. The song is called Revenant. This particular song is part of an album called Era that came out this year. I explained that many times, but let's just say that the songs of this album are, some of them were already published last year in a EP, 6 songs, and that's why in this series the numbers are not in order, because I covered some of the songs last year. So you have a blend of videos that I made last year and some I made that fall of 2022. This being said, if you want to follow me along with the natural progression of the album, just look for Disciple first, Choke, and so on. This is the order of the album Era. My videos are always built the same way. So once you are familiar with them, first there will be the reaction to the lyrics video. In this case, it's an official lyric video. I loved it. Second, I will make a short analysis of the lyrics and of the song. Nothing too fancy, but to comment and try to understand the lyrics, to go a little bit deeper. Try to find the meaning of the song. And thirdly, I will react to a live version of the song, fan-made, probably recorded with a phone. To me, I listened to 3 seconds. The sound seems to be okay, if not bad anyways. My videos, by definition, because there's the analysis and general comments on the meaning of the song, they are long, which means that proceed simply to the section or sections, those that you are interested in. Section 1 and 3 are reaction to videos. Section 2 is analysis. And if you are interested only in the analysis of the second verse, here will be on the screen the lyrics I am commenting. So if you want, just go directly to the verse and I'll be completely satisfied with your presence for the time you'll be there. I know that I strike very high. I have the one of the good rates on the YouTube. That's what they told me, because people in average are spending more than 15 minutes on my channel when they come. This is fantastic numbers, and this includes all those who chose my videos by mistake. They stay only 1 second. So it's fantastic. So it means that there's a lot of you guys listening to this video in length. I'm really happy with those numbers. I think there's space on the YouTube and everywhere for a little bit deeper analysis and thoughts. So let's go directly to the first of these 3 sections. We will listen. That will be the first time ever that I hear the song, except 2 seconds, like I said, when I listen to the quality of the live video. As for now, I'm ready to go. Many people told me that they loved the song very much. I'm eager to fall again in love with the band. So let's begin in 3, 2, 1. Acoustic guitar, completely acoustic.
Dear boy, tell me where you're
electric guitar here.
Dear boy, forget all closure and start hiding now, boy. 'Cause it's about time that they hunt you down, boy. Say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Wash your hands and wash your feet. Walk on water. Find me someone to blame. Find me somewhere to aim. And I don't know the right or wrong. A melody without a song. Show me the truth inside. Show me to stay alive. 'Cause I don't know the right or wrong. A melody without a song.
Wow, that is not what I expected at all. First time I heard Warning in a more or less acoustic. Refreshing,
Dear boy, can you tell me who will hold the blame now? Where will our fingers point if not at you now? Dear boy, tell the wolves you're finally coming home now. Do what you were best at, burn it all down. Say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Wash your hands and wash your feet. Walk on water. Find me someone to blame. Find me somewhere to aim. And I don't know the right or wrong. A melody without a song. Show me the truth inside. Show me to stay alive. 'Cause I don't know the right or wrong. A melody without a song. You can't erase what has been done. You can't forgive, you can't move on. But we cannot escape the tide of our cruel mistress keeping time. You can't erase what has been done. You can't forgive, you can't move on. But we cannot escape the tide of our cruel mistress keeping time. Find me someone to blame. Find me somewhere to aim. And I don't know the right or wrong. A melody without a song.
Completely disarmed. That's not what I expected in any ways. Musically, from the Warning, I find it unexpected, but in a pleasant way. I really was not looking in that direction in terms of from the lyrics. So I'm surprised. Secondly, melodically, this is as beautiful as Choke. There is a quality in terms of music that is fantastic. The Warning are melodically relevant. They do great melodies. They are not the greatest melodists, but you don't have to be the greatest to make great songs. Absolutely not, because songs is something that is a curious object. Sometimes the melody is not all that great, and the song is still one of the greatest. Why? Because the words are exceptional. A song is a curious blend of words, melodies, but also the glue between the two that will make those words come into life. And they are beautiful that way. And in a way, the glue, the final product, is greater than the two parts. That's why I want to analyze in a song what is called technically prosody, the art of blending music, melody, and lyrics, which is underestimated from my perspective. This is a great song. It captured melodically the ambiguity of the lyrics. The lyrics are not that clear. We don't know exactly what they're talking about. It's a situation between you and I. They both know what's happening, what happened. And there are the others, and sometimes maybe the same others are called the wolves, or it's the far other, they, and we don't know exactly who are those, who are they, what are these circles around the protagonist, the you and I in that song. And if I'm not mistaken, that it didn't seem to me. There are only one or two parts. I say, is that Daniela or Paulina? And I think I would bet on Paulina on this one. The fragility, I already said. Not that Daniela is not able of fragility, but she has something. There's a fury in Daniela, power, and when it comes to fragility, I already said that even while she drums, Paulina is able to sing. She drums in a very steady beat, very strong, powerful, but the voice is very humble and fragile. It seems to me the same kind of voice, but I will look at the live version. The live version, it was instrumental when I saw it, so I have no idea who is singing, in fact. Only thing I saw was that Paulina was in a circle with 2 or 3 other people. So, but I didn't look. I was more attentive of the music. Let's jump into the lyrics immediately. Verse 1. Dear boy, tell me where you're running off to now, boy. Who will be the one to break your fall, boy? Dear boy, forget all closure and start hiding now, boy. 'Cause it's about time that they hunt you down, boy. Tell me where you're running off to. So tell me where you're going now. Because and who will be the one who will break your fall? Here, and with the last line, we get a first impression that the one singing in I, knows the situation, wants to know where the boy is, and of course, because a woman sings, we think there's at least some kind of interest between the I, in this case a woman, and the you, a boy. So where are you leaving to? Where are you leaving for etc. But who will be the one to break you? So there's seem to be a situation where the I is asking a question. Well, when will you stop doing that? This is what is implied here. And forget all clothes and start hiding now. Here, there's a counsel. There's a wise, I would say, advice. Advice would be more accurate here. Go and hide right now. Don't wait. Fly away. Because it's about time that they hunt you down. It's about time. There's implied here that the person singing in I agrees that the boy should have been, the situation regarding the boy should have been disclosed or discovered before. So it's you've been doing that for too long already. This seems to be implied in verse 1. In the pre-chorus, say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Wash your hands and wash your feet. Walk on water. Here, it seems to me that the character is telling to the boy how to live, in which disposition to live, what is the way, how you should live, the close circle. Say goodbye to all the others. For me, the others here are the others implicated, or within the circle of the situation. Okay? So if you say goodbye, you leave the place where those other persons are implied, more or less, with or without knowing. We don't know that. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Call it close, it means that's it. That's it. Finish it. Crunch the numbers. Here, it could have many meanings. Crunch the numbers could be work with the numbers so that at the end it seems to work. It looks like it works. Or make them work. And crunch the numbers could be simply an expression saying leave the place looking as if everything fit. Okay? So leave everything as if everything fit. Leave the place like that. Wash your hand, so don't worry of make yourself look like an innocent. Wash your hand. That would be first meaning. As you know, the expression is extremely famous because of Pontius Pilate in the Gospel washing his hands before sending Jesus to his death. So wash your hand and wash your feet is another expression that you find also in the Gospel, saying just leave and leave everything as is, without keeping nothing of your previous moments or time. So leave as an innocent and wash your feet, leave everything behind. Walk on water. If you walk on water, you are very light. You are lighter than water. And so it means that, basically it means to me, here again, it's from the Gospels, of course, Jesus walking on the waters. And in the Gospels, it basically signifies that Jesus is the master of creation and can ask the wind and the water to calm down, and to walk on water magnify as well, or signifies as well, his lordship over creation. Walk on water here, I have no clue what it means, because it was what it mean. The ground is not there, so sometimes we say you're walking on thin ice. You're walking on a very delicate situation. Or would that mean flee from a delicate situation by flying away as soon. So the other image I had while I was looking at that is sometimes you see people doing ski or even skidoo or something on water, and this needs to be very fast. That would be run on water then. But again, I have no precise idea why it's there, but it suggests to me in the context, what is suggested here is leave as soon as possible the situation, and without disturbance, without. What do you think of that? Now, the chorus: find me someone to blame, find me somewhere to aim, and I don't know no right or wrong, a melody without a song. Show me the truth inside, show me to stay alive, 'cause I don't know no right or wrong, a melody without a song. This is where the I and you are the most intimate. Now the I is talking directly to the you. I suspect maybe it's implied that she is talking to the others, but I don't think so. Find me is more imperative, so it's more, I think, aiming at one person, the you. Find me someone to blame. Let's find together another one to blame so that they don't blame you for what happened. Find me somewhere to aim, to point at, so that they don't look for you. Okay, and that is that's why I understood the pre-chorus the way I said it. So in a way, leave everything so that everything seems to be normal, and fly away so that you look innocent and you look that everything looks as if they were okay. I don't know no right or wrong. So this is saying basically, I don't have bad feelings about that. So don't tell me who to blame. Tell me what I will do that. I will do as you say. A melody without a song. What is a melody without a song? Is it I don't know no right or wrong? I'm a melody without a song because you're leaving. So I'm a melody without you. I'm incomplete because you leave. So that could be one understanding. I don't know no right or wrong. I don't have any moral principle in this situation, and I am and not me being a melody without a song, but this is a situation where a story is being told, but it's not completed yet. You have the melody, but you don't have the song. You have not completed the full understanding of it. So I see two possible sides to this. I would tend to think that the person consider them herself, because it's a woman, a melody without a song, without words, because the other one has just left. That would be my guess. Show me the truth inside. Show me to stay alive, because I don't know no right or wrong. A melody without a song. And these two lines reinforce the previous ideas, is expecting from the other not only who to blame outside, but what is the truth inside. So basically the person doesn't have a clue of what is her truth, and expects, it's not the first time we see that in the warning, expects from the outside, she expects from the outside that the you shows the truth inside of her. She gives to the other the permission to tell her truth, something normally you don't do. Okay? Show me to stay alive. And to me, this is the key of the song. Because here it could be show me this truth inside of me and show me how, I will say it in other words, to survive. Show me how to survive in a situation. You see, here, show me how to stay alive. Implied here that the person without the you is incomplete, but doesn't really feel alive. You are the one who make me feel alive. And I'd be willing to team up with you against the world. And as we will see, probably with consequences for other people. So let's go a little bit further. The second verse. Dear boy, can you tell me who will hold the blame now? Where will our fingers point if not at you now? Dear boy, tell the wolves you're finally coming home now. Do what you are best at. Burn it all down. This I get the impression that unfolding in front of us is a movie or a story. I don't know if you feel like this. A story full of blanks and full of gray zones. We would like to know a little bit more about this situation. We don't know the details. But it's interesting because the song evolves. You are not, basically, sometimes in songs, every character is kind of fixed because it's short. A song is short. This one is a little bit longer. I don't know how long, but seems to be a little bit longer. But there's a story, there's evolution in the song. Even the characters implied. Can you tell me who will hold the blame now if it's not you? Where will our finger here seems to be the you and I, okay? And but maybe in another paragraph it was not necessarily the you and I. Point if not at you. So we will find it. So the crunch the numbers could be to make the numbers or to make the situation pointing at someone else. That could be an understanding of those words. Dear boy, tell the wolves. Who are the wolves? And why are they presented as the wolves? And this only expression, because if you remember in paragraph 2, who will be the one to break your fall? That's one thing. It's about time that they hunt you down. Hunt wolves. Same position in the verse, the last sentence. So I would bet that the wolves are those hunting. Now, it's interesting because it could imply that the lambs are fleeing the wolves, and 2 lambs are doing their best to survive against a wolf pack, a arch enemy coming from outside. And for now, their way to survive for the boy, is to leave momentarily and to come back. Probably the number crunches, pointing at someone else. He comes back, looks innocent, erasing the traces, and the 2 lamb can avoid being eaten by the wolves. So the wolves will get at somebody in this story. They will get at somebody. They just don't want to get at them, you and I. So you're finally coming home. Tell the wolves that you're coming home. So the place where you and I live is home, is home, is a home. So if he comes home, do what you are best at. Burn it all down. Burn it what? Burn the house down. So we have to burn the house to survive. But tell them you're coming, but they're coming back. He's coming back. Yes, the wolves know that he's coming back. But what will they find? A burned down house, erasing all traces. Say goodbye to all the others. Call it close and crunch the numbers. Wash your hands and wash your feet. Walk on water. Disappear. Disappear, maybe disappear with me. Find me somehow someone to blame. Now here it's implied that the I stays in the story. You already know that section. Let's go directly to the bridge. You can't erase what has been done. What has been done by who? This is what I think. This is what is unknown in the story. Is it something that you did, or is it something that I did? And you erased the things from me. And I don't know, but it has been done. Okay, you can forgive. You can forgive who? I think the only option is that if this person, if you, is the person taking the blame, for what reason? What is the reason for erasing everything? To whom we will point at outside of us here. But what is it that he has to forgive? And this is why I think there's something in that story where maybe you is hiding something that I did, the character I did. Maybe there is something that he has to forgive to me, to I, and you can move on. But we cannot escape the tide of our cruel mistress keeping time. Cruel mistress. Who is the cruel mistress here? As if the cruel... you know what it made me think? It made me think of a dog and wolves. As if the story is like, I will say it like that, don't get me wrong, as if the mistress of the dogs, and one dog leaves and come back, that's how I see it, and comes back, and what you did, of course it doesn't work with crunch the numbers and so on. I'm just presenting this as a symbol of what is happening, because who is the mistress in that situation? What is the role of the mistress as being above, keeping time, as if it was some kind of challenge, as if it was some kind of game, in a way? You can't erase what has been done. You can forgive, you can move on. But we cannot escape the tide of cruel mistress keeping time. We will not escape the time. We will not escape what is, in fact, I think one day or another will be known. And it's interesting because the tide is overwhelming. A tide the tide is also the time. Tide is both overwhelming, but it's also the time passing by, the rhythm of the waves. This is quite, in fact, there are many lines that are quite phenomenal in there. And it's very interesting how it turns out. Even if I'm not fully satisfied in seeing a little bit more clarity in the plot or something, I would have preferred to have one or two lines just a little bit more a little bit explicit on the situation, the conditions, because to me there seems to be a few words that brings a bit of confusion, but I know that they are able to do it differently, and that is part of the warning identity. So I'm just saying that me personally, I prefer sometimes just one or two. I like to have a certain kind of coherence in a song, but the warning are certainly not, because of their origin, into easy to interpret lyrics and easy to understand images. That's the way they are. Find me someone to blame, find me somewhere to aim, and I don't know the right or wrong a melody without a song. The impact, what I feel has a sentiment of being incomplete, expecting from the others to have answers for oneself. So let's look at the structure now. A very short intro. Nothing special in terms of structure. In fact, it's the first time ever that I have 3 or 4 songs, apart from having just a bit, few changes. For example, the pattern, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, has been the pattern of 3 or 4 songs in a row, which is not a common structure in popular music. You have sometimes pre-chorus, but that's not the most common. You have verse, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, intro, outro. I would say 50% of the songs are like that. You might find verse, chorus right from the beginning. Verse, chorus, bridge, both instrumental and sometimes song, but in many popular songs it's only instrumental. Chorus, outro, intro at the beginning. That's it. So it's I think there's no difference between that song and the previous one, which was Kool-Aid Kids. Maybe there was one more chorus, but that's it. So the structure is simple. This is surprising for me because I'm used now with the warning to expect research, to expect the unexpected. This song surprised me not because of the structure. Normally, it is one of the warnings, features. They do some musical research. They are good at it. Now, here, the acoustic landscape that they put and keep all along is fantastic. And completely unexpected. So, I was surprised, and I was surprised that it stayed that way all along. I would call it the haunting voice of, I will put it with a question mark for now, Paulina. I will say it like that for now. Fragility and hunting here because it's an intriguing atmosphere. Very interesting. And I find the combination of lyrics and words perfect, absolutely perfect. Even if it was not what I expected, I have to admit that it's very well found. Now, in terms of lyrics, I said already, it's you and I. There is the others. The other seems to be part of a close relationship, be part of the situation. But there's also a day hunting that I think they are called a little bit later in the song, the wolves. Who are these wolves? They are really looking for the sheep. They are looking for the prey. The prey would be the one making causing the situation. We don't know if the situation was caused by I or you, but because of that, and to me, it makes sense that they are the police forces or governmental officers of some kind coming to hunt the person who did that. But one is able to temporarily at least fly away and to come back, the revenant, and in coming back, he will pretty much fix everything by burning down the house. That's how I see it at this moment. Now, for me, the big question is the mistress. Who is the mistress in this story? There seems to be some kind of pact or alliance between you and I. I know what you did, or you know what I did, but I won't tell, and you will fly away. Who should we blame together? Let's agree. Who will we blame? Again, I come back with this idea of, have you ever seen how a little dog reacts when we come in the house and the house is a mess? They destroyed pillows and furniture, and they will look at you with beautiful little eyes as if they are surprised as you are of what happened during your absence, Together, we will look at the mistress with beautiful little eyes, and we will say, who the heck did that? To me, that's the atmosphere that I get from the lyrics. But to me, the musical now landscape doesn't leave it as a situation we could laugh at. I just laughed of my image, but it is not a matter of laughs. It's not something that is laughable. This is something haunting. There's a crunch. There's something difficult in that situation. You have to deal with something difficult. The wolves are coming. You fly away temporarily. You come back, and when you come back, we will destroy every traces of everything, and maybe we will be able to fly away together. That's how I understand. Help me to survive. Help me to. Okay, this is how I understand. So let's see now a little bit more in details what would be the analysis of the song. The title, the character you, comes back in the song after fleeing a certain situation that we know nothing about, after leaving the others temporarily, presented as a survivor. Now, I think this is the key word for the you in the song. He's a survivor. He survived other situations, and I want to learn to survive with you. And he's a survivor, but he doesn't seem to have any kind of remorse or regret. And the person in I is pretty much on the same path. Now, with the support of I, you flees the situation and comes back a little bit later. And I seems to be an accomplice, and maybe the perpetrator of the mischief, But we don't know that. One thing is that it has impacts on the others, because somebody will be pointed at, so everybody would turn their eyes towards someone else. So there will be the impact for someone else, and when the wolves will come, they will look maybe for you, but we will point at someone else. I will point at someone else, And when you come back, we could point at someone else. Now, there's the idea of blaming another one, an innocent in the situation, as a way to survive without any other moral principle but to survive in front of wolves. So the wolves will eat someone. Let's make sure that it's not us. And let's point at someone else. You see it? So and there's one thing here. For me, the big question in the bridge is, what is the forgiveness for? Why do you has to forgive? Who do you has to forgive? As this is all these elements make the feeling that it is some kind of a play unfolding in front of our eyes comes from all these elements. There's a situation, and the situation we don't. The author, the lyricist, doesn't have an opinion on the situation, but she lets the situation unfolding, so that we tell our stories through her words in a way, a little bit like I did. Try to understand what are the elements of her story, because it seems to me very interesting. So there is something very theatrical, and both, I would say, in lyrics and in the music. Acoustic, yet intriguing. It's intriguing. It's not acoustic and soft. It's not a soft, long love song. It's a soft mystery song. It's a soft, intriguing song with a twist. What is the real thing happening here? We don't have a clue, but we know that there's something happening with these two, and they will try to escape in front of wolves. Well, how do they do that? They're pointing at someone else, and they make every traces disappear, so nobody will ever. So in fact, I is asking you to make the situation look normal for a time, but on the long run, the resolution will be the destruction of everything that happened in that house. How do you see that? This is what I get from the lyrics. Intriguing lyrics, giving enough to picture something in our mind, but not enough for us to solve the problem. It's not a black and white situation. The lyricist doesn't make any moral judgment of the decision of the characters she puts in her story. So it's really different shades of gray in here. The only thing is that there seems to be an innocent will be blamed and probably hunted down by the wolves. There's a secret, an alliance between the two persons, probably in some kind of mischief. The only thing that could prevent us from thinking that it's bad behavior is the fact that the others are described as wolves. In that situation, in that case, you will always lose if you are a lamb or a small animal in front of a wolf pack. You will always lose. Whether or not you're good or not, you will be eaten alive, So this song is how to survive as a lamb when the outcome of a lamb would always be to be eaten by wolves. A survival strategy. A survival strategy. I think that's the song here you have. And the revenant comes back home, a home he shares with the I, and make things look like they are okay temporarily. When he comes back, he will make things disappear, and probably you and I then will also disappear. They will stop. The wolves will stop hunting you and I because he disappeared in a fire, apparently. So, in all this confusion, the character I is in all this confusion. I wrote confusion because we're not sure of anything. But a great question of I is, for me, is who am I in all this? And I think that I admires the survival skills of you. That's why, for her, the you is a master in survival. So she asked him the strategies to survive. And that's quite interesting because she is the one suggesting strategy in the song. But at the same time, she asks for more. So maybe she thinks that it's not good enough. So it can be a temporary solution, but she's looking for a long-term solution that the revenant will give to the situation. Show me how to survive in front of them, in front of the others, in front of them here, the wolves, and the others, those closer in the same situation. Whew. That's something, isn't it? Oh, wow. That's a fantastic. That's why I wrote a theatrical. There's a play. It's a play. In fact, that's how I would describe it. It's a small play in music, in song, very strongly based on a climate, an atmosphere, a landscape, musical landscape. And in that landscape, they tell a story, intriguing story. And it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful, even if I don't get it all. I would say that this is a song about a survivor. This is a song about survivors, surviving strategies in front of wolves that, if we don't do that, will eat us alive. What do you think? So let's go and listen to the live version. Now, the live version, you can make a difference between a real video made by professional means and a phone video. So what I saw there I see that, well, I see nothing but Daniela with her guitar, acoustic guitar now, because it has an empty space inside the guitar, so it will be very acoustic. The other one is a guitar. I don't know this other one. Is it a guest musician? I don't see Alejandra for now, and I don't. It's Paulina probably getting standing up something. Let's watch it in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah!
We're gonna play a song that we don't play that often.
Yeah!
I'd like to invite our stage our dear friend Ellen Paul!
That certainly was not Paulina in the back. What a big guy.
I want to invite everyone who is sitting upstairs to come down if you want. You are totally welcome here.
She made the balcony people very happy. Yeah, that's Paulina's coming. Oh yeah, much smaller than the big guy. Alejandra is with her bass, and there's a electrical guitar for the man.
Wait, honestly, that would be good.
Oh, there's the.
This song called Reverence.
She has her fingers are so long. She can make chords I cannot physically do. That's Paulina. Happy I'm hearing Paulina on the real mic. Many risks in the way she sits. Okay.
Yeah! Woo! Way to go! Yeah!
Andre. Oh, that's very recent. 10th of, is that the 10th of November or the 11th of the October? It's always confusing for us French Canadian because we do everything in the inverse order of the English, and the person who puts that, they follow the English syntax of a date, but 1 or 2 months old. I'm not certain that Paulina will sing that song in that posture again. By that I mean she doesn't use by making a bassin behind going backward, she removes from her capacity, from her breathing capacity, a lot of breath. And that made her do a few false notes at the beginning. It's something she didn't do when she sings high, but at the beginning, yeah. So I did, a few false notes here of tone. Because this is, was she nervous? Because she's really proeminent. She's in the front completely here. She's not behind her drums. And I always said that in my past, because I've met so many drummers that are in fact the most sensitive. They look like the strongest, or they look like the meanest in a band very often, but at the same time, they, for some reason, conscious and unconscious, they feel the need to be surrounded by something like an armor. But suddenly you are in front of your drums, and you are very fragile or exposed when you come in front like this. It could be a very uncomfortable posture. And I think that there is something like that in there, in that person, that way of she presents herself. That's exactly the same with Daniela. Daniela, one day she will be maybe without a guitar, because there will maybe Alejandra will be able to play guitar for once, and Daniela will sing without a guitar. She will feel as if she was naked, like if she was completely without protection. Same thing with the pianist. A pianist usually accompanying himself while singing. Remove the piano and you give him a microphone stand. He doesn't know what to do. Not every pianist is like Freddie Mercury. Most of them, they might be very, very uncomfortable without their piano. Same thing with a drummer. I can tell you, a drummer, to a certain degree, needs a drum to feel at home. Okay, needs to be a little bit retrieved to be at home. Paulina is a little bit different though, because she could be a front woman as well. I'm pretty sure of that by her personality. But still, this is what she did, and this is her home. So very interesting, very, very interesting the way it was presented. And I think that, I have to be frank, all of this stuff is so new that you don't have a proper live version of these songs, of those songs of the LP. But it's the first time I get all, I would say, amateur video, and all of them reveal something very beautiful about the Warning and each of their personalities, but also the way they perform and the way they work as musicians and as artists. And I loved it. I love this series, even if it doesn't have the same level of professionalism that we might find with other groups, especially because with other groups sometimes we do songs that are 3-4 years old. So you have shows with a good capture of the sound, and very often they have an occasion to mix the same material, and sometimes even repair some mistakes they made in the show. So as for now, it's possible to fix and repair a live show. You know that. I'm sure you're not surprised by that. But for example, a whole show happens, and for some reason, the guitar, that night, the guitarist was not all that great. You bring the guitarist in a studio, and you ask him to play exactly, you make exactly the same connection, same kind of cut, you take the same DI box, you take the same FX and everything, and he reproduces the what he has to do in a live show, and you just patch the studio capture, and nobody even knows that it was not live. It has been redone in the studio. It's very easy to do, and I'm sure that some of your best and most beloved band, they do that a lot. You cannot be perfect everywhere, and sometimes unless there's one show in your life you've been perfect the whole evening, but that doesn't mean that everybody was perfect. Maybe the basement was sleeping during a song. It can all be repaired in studio and reproduced in a way that you have no clue that is a studio capture. So next week we will finish our journey through the album Error with the last song of the album, The Breath. Never forget that every video has a reaction to the lyrics version, to a live version, and an analysis. And never forget also that there are subtitles in 8 languages. And I've heard that they are good enough to really help in every language. I had people saying in every language, especially I was a bit afraid of the Dutch and the Finnish. I have no clue what the application translates, but both told me that it was very good. So happily, they are not bad. The premiere is at 1:30 on every Friday. I'll be there this coming Friday. Come, we just chat together. It's wonderful. We were over 70 last time, and it's just great to be with 70 people who likes that music. It's great already. I don't care. I don't have 10,000 people. I couldn't read. I could not read. Then I can interact with the people. I write fast enough so that I can interact quite well with the people, and I love it. If you don't want to miss it, because we are on different time zones, just subscribe and ask for the YouTube to notify you when the premiere will happen in 30 minutes. Wherever your time zone is, you will be notified 30 minutes before the premiere. I think it's something that you can appreciate. As for now, this is it, dear friends. We are ending our journey next week. I hope you like it until now. Bye-bye. See you next week.